the guy
Step before.
just commanding this lead, blocking. He lost that track position, went back there. He's kind of been stuck in the middle of the pack.
Kevin Harvick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. making up row one. Kevin Harvick on the outside line. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the inside.
Much, man. There's a mountain of it.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the most recent winner of the Sprinter Plate track, was able to get the win at Talladega for his first Monster Energy Cup Series win. He goes up the racetrack trying to side draft with the four. While they're doing that, Trevor Bayne in the six has moved right up behind them, running in the third position.
While they're doing that, everyone else in the field has decided to go 3 wide.
Trevor Bayne is going to push the 17 out front. Now, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. leads at Daytona. 75 laps to go in the race. The pit window between 45 and 49 laps. They'll have to come to pit road at least one more time.
Battle for track position is real. You mentioned it. Keselowski got to the back, and he just has not been able to get to the front with a car that appears to be one of the best cars. So, trust me, people in the field are watching that. They know that car is fast. He got back there and has not been able to get back. You've got to protect it. Going to have to be aggressive once you get it to keep it.
How about the 19? Daniel Suarez making the move up toward the front. Just ran in the Xfinity Series race earlier. Wrecked out of that one, but the Monterrey, Mexico rookie, Monster Energy Series, now up into the top 4.
And how about Jamie McMurray? A lot of damage on that car, right front fender. You see all the tape flying on it. See it flapping around. Still able to stay in this front pack.
Kill it.
When I talked to Daniel Suarez's crew chief, Scott Graves, he told me that they're still working with Daniel to get a little more aggressive in these plate races, which is part of the reason he ran that Xfinity Series race earlier today. So he's got to learn what it takes to maneuver through traffic. If a spot opens up, you've just got to take it and trust your spotter. Daniel had a few handling issues earlier in this race. Now he's saying handling's much better. He's got a stable car to go race with, Dave.
Kelly, the car that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is driving is identical to the one that he won with in Talladega. It was the backup. Guess what happened to the primary? Trophy. Stenhouse has it. It's in his shop, in his garage, waiting to be looked at for the rest of his life in his first win in the Monster Energy Cup Series. I'm going to let the 19 of Daniel Suarez know that I'm not sure what that means for chassis adjustments, but one thing I guarantee has helped how that car is driving is moving to the front of the pack. That cleaner air, just a little bit more grip, a little more downforce, and just some room to move around.
Look at this damage on the one car. We talk about aerodynamics and how important it is to have everything just right. Here's Jamie, tape flying all over the place, dragging the racetrack in 4th position.
That's the one of the cars.
Big equalizer at restricted plate tracks. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kevin Harvick, Daniel Suarez, McMurray, Trevor Bayne, Brendan Gaughan, the Georgetown Hoya, a basketball player. His sole job was to be all over Allen Iverson, guard him as hard as he possibly could during the basketball practices so that Allen Iverson would be a better player. Brendan Gaughan did that as well as he could. Still very good friends with everyone from his Georgetown Hoya basketball team. Up against the wall.
Right.
Big move right there. He got real free. I didn't see what started, but went up and knocked the wall. He's going to have to pit here. You see the damage on the right front.
Brendan Gaughan, as we were talking about him being up in the top 6, got up into the wall. Take another look.
Wow, big impact.
Oh, he's got loose.
One car actually revs up when they made that contact.
And
the 75 of Gaughan was coming down, and you see now the right front is blown out, and the caution has come out. After making contact with the wall, the right front fender blown out. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the highest scored car a lap down, more than likely received the free pass as they go to work on Brendan Gaughan's 75.
That's a good shot right here.
So Brendan Gaughan running up in the top 6. Didn't look like he saw that Kurt Busch was down on his inside, was coming down
didn't see him or thought he could block the run. Tried to get down there and stop the 41 momentum, but the Kurt Busch was absolutely committed. He was in no place to lift at that point and just kind of had to force the issue.
Yeah, they were 3 wide, but they were 3 wide halfway up the racetrack. They weren't 3 wide using the entire racetrack, so I just don't think he realized they were 3 wide.
Let's take another look at what happened.
Yeah.
See, it all started, that's a little bit late on the replay,
Yeah.
but they entered the corner. The 21 car was on the bottom, but he wasn't all the way on the bottom of the racetrack, and they were 3 wide. See right here where they get 3 wide,
Oh,
21
Kurt
is a
Busch.
solid car
He
with off the
forces
bottom when
it,
it all
man.
starts. I just don't think that Brendan Gaughan knew he was 3 wide.
Right. Yeah, Kurt Busch is probably forced something there, probably.
Now let's listen into what Kurt Busch and the team had to say with this incident.
Again, what are you doing, Kurt? Yes, what's wrong with Kurt
There you
Busch?
have it.
I mean, he's frustrated. He thought the 75 had committed at the top of the corner. He was going to go through the middle. 75 came down. They made contact. You mentioned the 21 of Ryan Blaney right here behind Kurt Busch. Remember earlier, missed his pit box, had some damage.
Daniel Suarez learned how to speak English by watching cartoons, and he's been learning how to drive these Cup cars in part by watching a lot of in-car footage and past races. His crew chief Scott Graves told me that he is a great student, spends a lot of time watching past races and racetracks coming up. Now he leads this one.
Suarez getting a push from his teammate.
Good, push him.
He clears the one of Jamie McMurray. Now,
Wow.
how aggressive will he be as far as
Oh, he's
blocking at
aggressive.
Daytona? McMurray able to get to the outside. He tries to side draft him early as they go through 1 and 2. Suarez.
That's a kid. That's my man right there. Go get him.
Back, but for how long?
What's Suarez? Push.
I just can't believe that right front fender and all that tape is not what you want as the lead car. That seems to work okay behind other cars, but there's so much track there, it's going to be hard for Jamie Murray to lead this line.
Three wide behind them. Daniel Suarez out in front of the field at Daytona. Kenseth running second. Joe Gibbs Racing still without a win in 2017. None of the 4 drivers are locked in to the playoffs. Here comes that 48 of Jimmy Johnson, lurking back there in third. Chase Elliott has also moved back up to the front, running fourth. Chase Elliott still looking for his first win.
Number 1.
Dave.
Rick, that one car certainly isn't driving exactly like Jamie McMurray is wanting it to, but it fits the workmanlike attitude of Chip Ganassi Racing when it comes to these races. Matt McCall, the crew chief, told me today that they maybe aren't the best right now. They don't spend a ton of time on the bodies, but the Hendrick motors that run underneath there take us very far. And of course, Jamie, very talented in these big races, knows how to draft for restrictor plates, and has won at Daytona before, Kelly.
Michael McDowell in that 95 car comes here after an impressive 14th place finish at Sonoma. They really worked on race setup from this car all weekend long, and Michael McDowell been reporting that his car sucks up to the car in front of it. Really good, really happy with it. He's been able to push well and been up towards the front much of this race.
Rick, we heard Dave say that the one of those guys didn't work tremendously on their aerodynamics, but good thing they didn't, because the one and the right front damage on that car is definitely hurting this outside line.
Remember, that car pushing Jamie Murray, Michael McDowell, that's crew chief by Todd Parrott. Todd Parrott, a Daytona 500 crew chief champion, so he's a really good road course, a really good super speedway crew chief, knows what he's got.
Oh, around goes the 24 of Chase Elliott. He had help. Trevor Bayne got caught up with him. The caution comes out.
Wow. Hope she's not in it.
Damage to the left side of the 24 of Chase Elliott. Damage to the 6
Look,
of
I
Trevor
caught that on
Bayne.
camera. What the f...
A lot of damage to Trevor Bayne.
What's up? Right back to the video? Yeah, we're done. Good one.
Matt Hughes, the crew chief, you can hear the disappointment. They had this race circled. This was a big race.
Wow.
They saw their teammate
Everything
Ricky
like that.
Stenhouse
What the
win
hell?
in Talladega.
Oh, my
Trevor
God.
Bayne, a
Oh,
Daytona
God.
500 champion. Roush Fenway engines. This was the race that they had circled. You
Look
could
at
see the
it.
disappointment.
Once again, it's, I think, a situation where got 3 wide, and I'm not real sure Michael McDowell knew he was 3 wide.
What the hell is wrong with
the
that?
outside of him, he went to the right. That pushed him back to the left, ended up getting into Chase Elliott.
Watch
That's
it
the shot. It
fans out
shows how
there.
much these drivers move around in the backstretch. You see left to right, keep changing
good.
lanes, and like you mentioned, Michael McDowell in that row was 3 wide. I'm not sure Chase Elliott didn't think he wasn't clear of that row. I'm not sure he thought Michael McDowell was even a concern. Between the two, they made contact. You see right here,
Right there. Right there. Look at that.
you know, he gets
Yeah.
moving, and there's nothing
What
he can
the-
do. It's
no,
spin to the
he
right or
can't.
spin to the left. Fortunately for the 24, he spun to the left.
He's
There's
done
still
for the-
damage,
no,
but much
good.
less damage than if it had
That's
gone
good,
up
yeah.
into the outside wall. Parker.
Okay.
Guys, think about where Trevor Bayne was, not in terms of only having a fast race car, but just outside the top 5. So they had a ton of options
camera?
that they could have pulled in that 6 car as they came down.
That's not over.
59 laps to go.
Where is it? Where is it?
Suarez on the inside, Marquez on the
That's too
outside.
much.
Jimmy Johnson on the inside of row 2. Heavily damaged front end
Fine,
of the
fine,
one of Jamie McMurray still holding tough as he's on the outside of row 2.
Of course.
Dylan making it 3 wide on the outside in row 3.
Riding along with the bad cam at 100 miles an hour as they go past us down the backstretch.
I really believe Jamie needs somebody behind him really pushing him. There's no question that nose being damaged. It hurts him. And if you're in the outside line, you really don't want Jamie leading it. You really would rather have a car with a clean front end. It's going to make that line work so much better.
And Rick, you mentioned Dale Earnhardt Jr. Here he is. Welcome back to the top 10 right now in the 10th position for Junior. I wish I could list all the things that's wrong with the race car. The toe's knocked out, about an 1/8 inch, which means the steering wheel doesn't even turn straight or even go straight when he's in a straight line. Also, he's hit the right front splitter knocked out a little bit. He's tied off of every corner. Junior managing the car inside in the pit box. Greg Ives managing the tires. One issue, because they wrecked earlier, they only have 2 sets of sticker Goodyear tires left. They have to manage that. That's one of the reasons he didn't take tires on that last stop. 3 wide for the lead, Rick.
Jensen tries to come down to side draft the 19 of Daniel Suarez. While he does that, Jimmy Johnson takes advantage. He goes to the high side. He's trying to take the lead away.
Of course. He does.
Here, new leader 48.
Right? 40,
Jimmy
right?
Johnson out front at Daytona.
Come on, Suarez, come on.
Jimmy Johnson,
Seriously. Give me that.
he had 83 wins.
Don't worry
He
about
wanted
it.
to honor the person he was tied with at 83, and that was Cale Yarborough. So he had a helmet painted up with Cale Yarborough's image on the helmet. Cale Yarborough said he called him before he did it and asked if it'd be okay. Cale said, absolutely it'd be okay. I would be honored. He went out that very race and got his 84th win. And now he is looking for Bobby Allison and Darrell Waltrip to try to get even with them. Those two are the next drivers as far as the career list, who he will jump on top of when he gets the next win. Those two are on his helmet tonight.
That inside line about the 5th row. Remember, Brad Keselowski kind of dominated this race early. It's taken him forever to get the track position back. He's now in 10th place, but once you lose it, it's hard to get it back, and it's taken him almost half the race just to get a little bit of it back.
Yeah, and as we're on board with Ryan Blaney, the leader Jimmy Johnson's kind of choosing a little bit different line, running up the racetrack, more in the middle of the racetrack. So you see the 21 right behind him, the 14. They're the bottom lane of the two, but they're running in the middle of the racetrack, not down around the yellow line where we've seen cars run tonight. It seems like that upper line is continuing the momentum as Jimmy is committed to the top, leading the pack.
Jimmy's trying to drag the top into single file. He's trying to get everybody to run that top lane and hopefully get it single file. As a leader, that's in your best interest. He's trying to do it. I don't know if he's going to work out or not. We've seen Junior do this many times where he just goes to the top and everybody follows.
Oh, around goes the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Harvick spins around. Dale Earnhardt
There
Jr.
she goes.
Brad Keselowski involved. Smoke coming out of the 32 of Matt DiBenedetto.
I told you, 50 minutes. I knew something was going to happen. Are there fans out there?
Snap spun like a tire went down right in the middle of traffic. You see the 88 bouncing along the backstretch wall. That tells me that something's probably broken in the front suspension.
Damn. Traffic's getting lucky today. Watch.
About 190 mile an hour.
He just got loose.
Turns around quickly right in front of her. No, nothing anybody can do. All the smoke can't see. Hope you get through it.
I'm amazed more cars aren't in an accident like that. Rick is tightly and
Green flag back in the air.
Sorry, shenanigans.
Stenhouse Jr. with a little help. Now edging in front of Clint Boyer, who tries to move up to block.
Might as well sit down.
Stenhouse Jr. getting his first career win earlier this year.
Well, he did.
It came at Talladega. Down the backstretch, a little bumping as Ryan Blaney that worked to the inside. And you guys used the word at the very top of the show, aggressive. We're going to see aggressive racing, and I believe it's starting to pick up.
Oh, man.
To go. We've seen it up to this point. It's only going to get more aggressive. See Clint Boyer, he's worked his way up to the front of the race. Clint Boyer needs a win. Does not have a win yet this year. Needs that win to get into the stage, to try to get into these playoffs. Marty?
And in the back of his
Now,
car,
first, then,
won stage one. He had a little contact earlier. We saw him in the middle of that wreck. They do have right rear damage. But the right rear on his car starting to go. So there's a rub there, and the tire starting to go down on that two car.
See how far back he is. Just back now, coming into the tri-oval.
Oops.
Stenhouse Jr. now trying to make that outside line work.
Mickey Stenhouse Jr. seeing there's no run on the bottom. He can go to the top here and try to drag the line to the top. Trying to get single file. That's what he did. Smart move.
Following right behind him, Clint Boyer with 14. Matt Kenseth, stage 2 winner in the 20. Ty Dillon, brother of Austin Dillon. Grandsons of Richard Childress. Ty Dillon currently running fourth.
Oh, still on Thailand.
All right, let's talk about strategy. We're under 50 to go, brought to you by Wendy's. What kind of strategy plays now when a few drivers are out there thinking they might be able to stretch this on fuel?
Well, fuel is definitely going to be a question, but I think the first one is another big crash coming. We've seen some major accidents. Right now they're playing nice, but with 47 to go, I'm not sure it's going to stay that way.
And the best way to stay out of a wreck is stay out front. We've seen track position so important. Some really fast cars got in the back and couldn't get back to the front.
And then that communication between the driver spotter and even the crew chief. You mentioned the fuel. We saw cars run out of fuel in the Daytona 500, and I'm not sure the drivers knew they were going to be close. Now we've seen the 11 right there in the center screen of Denny Hamlin. He came, he topped off. He's running in the 10th position. Has 2 more laps worth of fuel than all of the leaders. Trying to push those leaders, see if he can get them to run out.
I don't know where she's going to go.
Pretty impressive run once again for Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
As you heard the radio chatter, Rick, from the other crew chiefs, they are one of the cars that will need to stop again. He last pitted on lap 92. He was told by his crew chief, Brian Patty, that they were about 7 laps short of making it happen. So they were talking about coming in perhaps with about lap 139, 140, something like that. We'll see how long they're out front where they want to be right now.
See in 5th place there, Eric Jones. They just pit on this last caution, but his crew chief Chris Gale has come across the radio multiple times to remind him, save fuel. And he just instructed him, get to the top, right up there, and save me all the fuel you can. And do not flip that reserve switch till I tell you. Kelly?
Ty Dillon, one of those double-duty drivers, he had to get some IV fluids after the Xfinity Series race. His car is the one now that could be running low on fluid. They've told him that he's about 2 laps short, telling him to save it every opportunity.
It's hard to get in.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been checked and released from the infield care center.
Huh? Race running. That's what I like right there.
All right, Jeff Burton, if you're out here and you're running in this line, how do you save
God.
fuel? If you try to stay up stay in the right line.
Well, this is actually one of the easiest racetracks to be able to save fuel. When you're in the middle of the pack, they're pulling you along. You're getting the draft, so you can run half throttle. You can just not run all the way 100% throttle, and you can still keep up the speed. And right now, if the line moves to the top, no one wants to make that move. Everybody's afraid to make that move because you can drive to the bottom and nobody goes with you. You're just going to the back. So right now is the time where you can be saving fuel while it's calm. Before the chaos starts, where you have to be wide open, now is the time to save.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has successfully pulled this field up against the wall. That is a great move by him. When he does not have to block and choose lanes as far as which one to stay in front of. It makes it a simpler task. The only problem is, and the two of Brad Keselowski into the wall.